think about this particular policy we say pikin we get belle for tap the education them force. We reporter Kabia and Elizabeth Blabin go around and talk to different school pikin them.
I dey go Salon International. No, I don't go school because my company go laugh me. I not go under molestation day. I go where I go don't born, there I can go. But if I not born, I no go.
Salon International. No, because I the first molestation and people go look down on me, and I not go under, so I go prefer adding a house after I born the and I go school.
I attend Salon International. If I get belle, I not go and go school because of so many reasons. My company go provoke me, then go laugh at me, and my people will also go be disappointed at me because not so that's not my goal. So if I get I no go school. Maybe until after I born the pikin.
COVID. No, because like say they laugh me because I don't get it belly. I say I'm serious. I don't care about the education.
My family is about secondary school. No, because I get belly, I go school. The company provoke me. At a week, I retire. I able to do nothing.
They attend my time in secondary school. That's why you get belly, not able to go to school because of company. When they learn, you get belly, you go weak, tired, not able to pay attention. Like quite so like whole day for months, so we go get belly at this age. The time we go born say for good 9 months. The time we go born, we go down go find out UDBM. So you not get the zeal again for go school. So they make an advice we as girls people they make maintain myself.
Fine memory at secondary school. No, one, the shameless. Then two, not good for school. You forget the letter where you go to school. The other reason, I'm not sure I will be comfortable around the company.
No man, because of I wear my uniform, I get better, I go to school. I'm in school now, I give bad. They say cool, they encourage better. Done too, if I wear my uniform back, I go to school. I need to able to be among me confident because they go take and tell me, they go laugh me with time, and I go feel shame.
I send me to the star side school, DSS. No man, because of I look shame to me. Then why they go to school and they swam me one?
No, I'm not going to go to school because belle with what you get and they say complicating, especially when you're young, and also if I do something when I write in a class, teacher want beat me, teacher go think I'm twice for beat me because of waiting, because of I get belle. So I don't mind, I go wait till I born, I continue.
I no go turn up now school talk to my company because nobody no go listen to me. Because they go say, look this and belle don't go to so they can't school.
Government will kill senior secondary school. No, well actually that's not possible because not make school for belle woman. They make school for them small people for go get idea, knowledge, and for create idea inside you. And not make them for belle woman for say where you get belle for big attend school because if you know say one line, no people don't get belle. So no need no dey for we big attend school back.
I no go turn up now school talk to my company because nobody no go listen to me. Because they go say, look this and belle don't go to so they can't school.
Government will kill senior secondary school. No, well actually that's not possible because not make school for belle woman. They make school for them small people for go get idea, knowledge, and for create idea inside you. And not make them for belle woman for say where you get belle for big attend school because if you know say one line, no people don't get belle. So no need no dey for we big attend school back. According to me, I get because me don't see belle woman they go school. Because me don't they go school no more. Do I know so they go school now? Do I not get belle? This that belle woman they mean na host me no say then they not make school for belle woman.
I attend the government model secondary school. No, because one in company go they laugh the belle, in me go they shame for they go to school.
Well, that's now voice of different school picking them. Now Freeton where Kabia and Elizabeth Blabin talk to for Seka the ban where government been put say school picking them we can get belle na school for tap the education force so to them born. We they continue the program, we they take this short commercial break, we come back to studio guest them.
Salon Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile App, you can able for use Salon Link money transfer for send money to anybody like you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office like you not get the account number. Buy Edsalite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again, but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for the boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salon Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, Download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go na Salon Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
1 minute after 8 o'clock, now the time from the studio clock, and the program is still listened to. Now, good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. And earlier, before we take that commercial break, they will be listening to voice of different school picking and we give their own view, but waiting and think about the issue of whether or not girl picking we get better with the show for dinner school. When they come over to the studio, guest them back, and they come over to Brian Michael Toure, when are the deputy director for school broadcasting at the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. You listen to the views of the picking them. Firstly, what you make up of the picking themselves where they go to school, waiting and take on this topic where we look at today.
So whatever we hear from the picking, then just lend credence to waiting a startup with. Say, in order for we able maintain a law, a rule, or a policy, let we get a dialogue. If not that we want for if we want change something, let we ask the opinion of the one who say it affect. Let themselves tell we if you're okay. Well, from what we don't see, waiting they go on. The very picking themselves say they're not thinking a good idea. Am I saying that because of that we will still maintain? I'm not representing my opinion here. I represent waiting the policy say as at now until after the court, the outcome of it, then change them. I continue to do so. Well, I draw reference to waiting my brother Nasiba talk about trying to connect me with Dr. Ba in thinking. What happened in 2010 was not the thinking of Dr. Ba. He presented it. Then the thinking of the cabinet. Now be the outcome of that policy day. Not what Dr. Ba think. Maybe if you be asked Dr. Ba, you will get another thinking. But when he present on a cabinet, which is the right thing to do, cabinet look at them, all the pros and cons, and say, now this for now maintain, say, if they get belly, let them stay out. And it just tie into the picking and thinking as well. When they interview, they say, no, if I get belly, I go on in a house first. Or I born, I come back. Now, what do we do during Ebola? We'll get so many of them. We're pregnant because then our host don't do anything. 10,000 and more. We open informal learning centers across the country. We get over 200 or so of them. We don't cut them down, and now we maintain 50 of them. They're still there. For not only pregnant ones, them, but run away, drop out of school for whatever reason. We still get them. So even the Education Act and the Constitution where my brother the quote, it states and clearly, if the government is able to provide a situation where they of equal relevance to that classroom, you cannot call that discrimination. So because government no want for compromise the human right of one Pekin, will provide an opportunity, say, if you're pregnant, you still have this environment here for can access education. The one that we come, where we get there, where we provide tuition to throughout the time. When we finally ask them if they want to return back to school, we'll be able to return out of the 15,000 and more, we'll be able to return 10,000 back into mainstream school.
So
they went back.
From 2010, Mr. Toure, where this decision be taken, from 2010 to now whose positive impact of value where that decision they don't add to the educational system when they pick here the off mainstream education?
Well, see back good statistics now, my brother, I tell you, I say, waiting in get that the pregnancy rate is reduced. Well, how do you know if part of that now because of the policy say if you get pregnant, will not allow you in a school? How do we know that?
Just to be clear, also start saying
it dropped. Pregnancy rate, most countries them who say it actually dropped. In contrast to what me say, that he say exactly because I pay attention to her. So if that is the case, if pregnancy rates drop, then you know stand to reason that maybe the Pekin and listen to the policy and say, I take me tell and they're pregnant so that I go there in school, as they express very clearly say, school not to force you pregnant.
Mr. Toure, the pregnancy rate might come down, but again, concern where don't they come from different activists them. Now the way how girl picking them, they go school, say they're able for complete their education. Now one way don't be challenged from where this policy come into existence.
I don't think saying that the policy affect the rate at which girls and they go to school. We get several other things that way actually cause that.
Not so for going to school, but for let them complete their education.
Exactly. When you have a parent where as the Pekin reach 11 or 12, the first thing where they think about, now from getting to marriage, for probably economic reasons, you're not able to take care. You want for girl to that rich man at the village, where you were able to take care. That could also be part of it. And survey after survey don't reveal that very clearly. The early marriages, all of them kind of thing and they. So if that thing and they happen, you cannot say now because the policy they now make, the picking not able to complete. There are other challenges them where they cause for legal picking and not able to complete. We attitude for a very long time, even in this country, towards girl picking, look and lay under. Only now, laws after laws where they don't able actually give right to the girl child right and all that kind of thing and they where they make maybe give changes now to waiting the way how for treat with girl picking them, for keep them at school, for make sure they will not tamper with them when they did the age of below 18 and so on and so forth. So the same way, civil society, activists and what have you out there, if they want for help, if they really want for work with government, what they should do is come and have a dialogue with the government. So not take the government to a court in the first place. Because can't first get the dialogue with the government, let the government say, no, they listen to now. And then you go to the courts.
All right,
so, but if that not happen, then that creates a problem. Because you need for let you rally around the country also, let you able to sound your opinion, just like how do that small one day no more, to see what thing at the outcome.
Continue for the way to the studio. Make I just bring Chenoba inside. The issue of dialogue don't come in now. When I don't go reach now ECOWAS court, when I be exhaust the opportunities them wanna get for dialogue with governments before when I think of the decision for go international.
I just show you say when this policy pass, as soon as known at the studio, before this case to reach ECOWAS court, we get multiple engagements with the ministry. First, we start with writing to the government. We develop a petition which was signed by thousands of people around the world. Me personally meet with His Excellency President Anes Baikoma at least twice on this issue. Me personally, I meet with the President of Salon twice, specifically on this issue. He asked me, say, Mr. Bawa, on a team, on a come together, on a put together a policy brief for me, which we did. I wrote a policy brief again. I get a copy. I will post all of this on my Facebook afterwards, send on to the President, which he acknowledged receipts of. Part of the recommendation then I'll be waiting at the transition we need for do. Since this new government don't come, where as I say, get a very progressive outlook when it comes at the issue of education. We set up a coalition for girls' education before the school year they begin. The coalition for girls' education don't meet with at least 12 government functionaries, including the Minister of Education, more than once. We don't meet with State House on this issue. We don't meet with Ministry of Social Welfare. We meet with the Minister. We don't meet with the Interreligious Council. So the notion say we not engage is simply not grounded in fact. Again, I encourage Mr. Toure for let be based with the talk on evidence.
Mr.
I just want to say something about
Mr. Toure earlier on the issue of the dialogue where they talk about is say now an attack on the ministry by then instead of dialogue.
That was
well, I'll be clear. If we attack the ministry, I'm not going to sit down and meet with the president. I'm not going to sit down and meet with the minister and the officials them. I'm not going to sit down and engage with them. I'm not going to go do a research on policy alternatives and examples from other countries and hand over to them and say, let's sit down and talk. We're not going to get a forum we include donors at the time. We all sit down with UNFP, we all sit on a table. Not once, not twice. The idea say we can throw stones at we say we first of all we not hate Salon, yeah, we not hate education, we not hate the Minister of Education.
So what did the president been tell you at that time where
nah, they tell you so. Again, this was documented publicly. When we sit down, we engage on the issue. At the time, I remember say President Koma say, in fact, he's been advised that this was the policy, even in Western countries, in we conversation. I mentioned to the president, say, no, Mr. President, you are badly advised. Again, this notion of fact-free, evidence-free policy making. He has say, well, put together the evidence for me, let you present unto me. I wrote a policy memo, I sent it to the president. After I write that policy memo, I then come up with this alternative free education thing, alternative education way you say for pregnant girls. But I'm glad for that because I want to talk about that quickly. Mr. Toure said they create alternative. The Constitution say when you create alternative, if for provide, like I say, equal education. This the alternative we then provide. They put if you did JSS 1 to JSS 3, now one class now all day. Now one teacher when I get when they meet 2 maximum 3 times a week. This is not the facts. And at the challenge, I let they release the evaluation reports, if not they lie. 2 or 3 times a week, they meet. Plus, then keep in mind, so the talk say Salon will not get enough education facilities at the country. Their alternative here they provide, in order in every chiefdom at the country. In fact, currently now about only 40 of them they go on. We get picking them all over this country where they get belly, then shuts them out of school. So if they provide an alternative, if you provide an alternative, person will opt in. You know, they say by policy you are banned from school. B, if you provide an alternative where they provide the same quality of education. Like I say, they not get the teacher then for teach the alternative school then they meet unlimited number of days and they not they provide. The final thing I want for say really, because this vox pop is important. If you go around a Salon now, DHS data, ask girl picking them. How many of you believe say circumstances then they where it right for let a man beat you? Over 60% they say yes. You know what I mean? Say government they pass law say it's okay for let big man beat you. The second thing I go say, this vox pop is reflective of na free to una do am. Besides, like I say, about 14% of girls in the highest economic category now then they get pregnant. Over 40% in the poorest economic category. This is a problem with pervasive na poor households. We not make policy based on public opinion. I make we get law, yeah. If not for that, like I say, you go ask people and say, okay, for let man beat you. Say, okay, well, I'll make law. Say, let man beat you.
Now the policy now want to make government reverse or now the alternative then for improve on.
We believe say education is a fundamental right. This government don't share that belief. Day. His Excellency the President don't make it clear. Listen, Mabel, I not think say we passing Gebele, they all get for good school tomorrow. Some they choose not for good school, some they choose for good school. Some they say, Mabele only 5 months now. I want to go take me exam. Wait till they say the government not to enjoy that day for tell individual picking and say you are not welcome through the school. Instead, now then job for make sure say they help them pick here, go school as long as they can and help them for achieve their rights to education. When they say, oh, Paupa push them inside school, they say they're not for force them out.
You say this government inherits a bad policy.
Yes.
And we'll look at presidents being in government, education are one of in key priority.
Now in key priority.
And key priority area them. So why owner as activists them where change of government come, I don't know if not on the drum, continue with the dialogue for ensure say this particular government review this policy and try for see if they go reverse them rather than filing a case na the ECOWAS
No,
court.
so let me make a couple of things clear. One, the case was filed during the time of the APC government. Okay. They don't file long ago. In fact, this government, when the case come up, then call for a long extension. We give you hope. We believe say they call for adjournment. We believe say they will come back and say, well, let's talk about this. We set up a coalition of what we call the Coalition for Girls Education. We include over 40 local and international organizations in Salon. We develop a position paper, a comprehensive position paper we based on what the president don't say in stated goals, where we explain and challenge the reasoning of WAEC. I don't know if we make anybody go make any public policy in a Salon based on what WAEC say. WAEC is the most discredited institution at this country. They don't get no respect, nobody know for respect WAEC. But that's for another conversation. Secondly, we begin for systematically meet with the key government institution there. We meet with the Ministry of Education, not once, not twice. We don't sit down, me and that team, they don't meet. We have pictures, we post on Facebook. We go Ministry of Social Welfare, we sit down with them. We go, somebody then we say, well, some of their issue and a religious perspective. So we engage inter-religious council. We'll go to them, we say, we're not people of truth. Do you want to look at the evidence on this issue? They were so impressed. They said, let's continue the conversation. We hope the ministry will call we engage on this thing. We go again, we meet with the donors that will support this issue. We meet with DFID, we meet with Irish Aid. We say, we say this government wants free education. And they don't say then they base them public policy on evidence. We begin to supply them with the evidence. Unfortunately, when school reopened, Mr. Brahma confirmed from the ministry, say the policy not change.
Okay.
And so equality now, and the one that we be careful the case in the first place, say, well, then therefore just see this case through. Me still now, I get the hope. Say this government, we don't see, and so far a lot of the actions are based on data and evidence. Go come back and look at the data and the evidence on this and how consistent it is for them to achieve this the beautiful goal of universal education that is not possible if they shut the door on a significant number of girls in this country by banning pregnant girls from school.
Continue for the program chair number. Good Morning Salon, they continue. They quickly take this commercial break.
Better don't come. A Union Trust Bank again. Your Salon Banco. Union Trust Bank get plenty product and service there for you. You must get what you want to go better. Let me savings account, ide. Current account, ide. Fixed deposit account, ide. Credit facility, ide. All for you. Me and you. Union Trust Bank, that's a loan for me and you. Kids future savings account, ide. School fee savings account, ide. Pay advance salary scheme, ide. We branch and they all up on our Salon. Bokono Kenema, we ide. Kabala Mabogo Kakambia, we ide. Jala Freetown Lonsa, we ide. And my 91, me and you. Union Trust Bank, me and you. Union Trust Bank, Union Trust Bank, na Salon for me and you. Union Salon Banco, Union Trust Banco.
Union Trust Bank, empowering Sierra Leonean businesses.
The program Good Morning Salon they continue, and we look at other issues of the program now. We say one challenge where women they can get from politics and salon, now we not can get support from the company women them where they can want for contest for leadership position them. This make the First Lady Madam Fatima Biyodon say for make gender equality work in a salon, women they need for support and company women them when they turn up for leadership position. Madam Fatima Biyo talk this inside 1 3 days her summit where initiative for creative women Sierra Leone all for girl picking them now the country with the theme what we can achieve with what we have. We have to think equal for gender equality. You know Kabia gets more on this and Igona reports.
Discrimination against women and girl picking them na salon now one of the big problem them. We don't put woman business them go behind and plenty organization them. Don't they work stronger one for tap some of them challenge the yam where woman and girl picking them don't they face over the yam and one part organization the yam. Now the initiative for creative women Sierra Leone beside this organization don't start them 3-day has summit with the theme what we can achieve with what we have, think equal for gender equality. Binta Ba, now the executive director for Initiative for Creative Women Sierra Leone, talk about the importance of this program.
A non-profit making and women-led organization formed to enhance the capacity of young women to identify, develop and showcase their talent, which will transform their lives for community and national development. The theme for this Halit Summit is what we can achieve with what we have for gender equality. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Halit Summit is a pattern-shifting leadership, communication and development initiative that equips exceptional young women with the relevant skills, knowledge, resources to become the next female generational leaders and agents of change to their communities.
Bintaba end up say after this 3-day has summit, they hope say their young girl Pikia go don learn plenty thing them. We go make their mindset change on how they for think about themselves as women. The Deputy Minister of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs, Mohamed Ajikela say for show government in commitment for gender business in the country, make government go create the gender commission. We go to look at gender issues them in the country.
The Hands of Our Girls campaign created quite a lot of space for us. The first thing first, when we came into governance, we did say that we are going to review all the gender policies. And I'm happy to say that now the very clear draft of gender equality policy that is going to give birth to the first time in history a gender commission in Sierra Leone. And within that policy also, through the New Direction Manifesto, we are going to create a Women's Empowerment Fund. And also, there was a state of emergency on the sexual violence. Now, we are actually now discussing the Sexual Offences Act. Thank you very much to young girls who came together with the First Lady to make sure that this is something that needs to be done. The President has listened, the government of the country is listening, the Parliament is listening now too. And they have invited the civil society organization to actually contribute to that bill. So we'll have a very strong law on sexual offences. life imprisonment means life imprisonment.
The Deputy Minister of Information and Communications, Mamadi Gobe Kamara, say Salon gets small amounts of women them, whether into information technology communication, ITC.
Globally, women are connected digitally and represented in information and communications technology fields. Only 24% of people working in ICT around the world are women. In the field of computing and mathematics, only 23% of employees are women. In the case of Sierra Leone, the percentage of women engaged in the ICT sector was far below expectations. Access, being a fundamental variable of incorporating young women into the digital revolution, is prompted by a very underlying root, which is intense. While the ministry could play its own part, there will be very little impact if young people do not take active interest of the opportunities created by digital technology. Therefore, it is the primary responsibility of parents to encourage their children to adopt a flair for technology during their formative years. In like manner, parents should guide their children against the negative externalities of ICT, especially the internet.
The First Lady, Madam Fatima Biose, for make gender equality work na Salon, woman them need for support them company woman them. Anytime with them woman they take leadership position.
Until we start to be united and start with each other and support each other, we will not achieve gender equality. The United Nations will come to all the grammars in the world. That's their job, it's grammar. But then as a woman, when I present myself, I don't only present myself, I have to defend myself. Why? Men present themselves and we just believe them. But when a woman presents herself, we have to go defend what she has said. If you really want to change the way people think about you, you have to change the way you think about yourself. It's not a crime to love yourself. It's not a crime to say, you know what, I want the best for myself. It's not a crime to say I have a vision and I have to live that vision and my vision has to come alive. It's not a crime. It's not a crime to believe in your ability to change things. It's not a crime to look at another woman and say you are more beautiful than me. It is so good to be able to compliment one another and support one another and stand there and be there for one another. And people like you have to have the tenacity to say, you know, I also want to be part of the lawmaking, institution in this country.
Madam Fatima Bio end up call on their young girl Pikia for go they support themselves, take them book learning business serious so that they go be the next leader them na the country. For the Society for Radio Democracy, you know Kabia the reports.
We will continue the program. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. Where they bring the program come to you this morning, Mina Khadija Bangura
and Mabel Kaba.
We look at more issues inside the program and we take one part with other headlines to read them. Also, the Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallo, don't encourage investor them na the private and public sector for can do business na the country because it says Salon open for business people, tourism, and strategic partnership them all over the world. Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallo talked this Wednesday, June 26th this year, where he launched the second edition of the New Direction magazine as status, where titled President Julius Maada Bio, Champion of Human Capital Development. For more on this, let me join with reporter Mohammed Sharif.
I want to take this opportunity to formally launch second edition of the New Direction magazine and thank the team, particularly at State House.
The Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallo, when they launched the 48th page of the second edition of the New Direction magazine as status. Usai Dr. Jallo say, inside the past 1 year, government don't able to do plenty reform them for improved accountability and transparency in the country. As he say, inside the past 1 year, President Bio don't able to create key institution them for provide space for investor them in the country.
Today, those institutions are no doubt making their marks. First is the Directorate for Science, Technology and Innovation. This structure is no doubt today one of the shining stars of the New Direction. Every MDAs will tell you about it. I was also very impressed when I went to Saudi Arabia. The president of the Islamic Development Bank made reference to the DSTI. And now the DSTI is getting ranked as one of those very fine institutional innovation in Africa. The other institution that was created is the Presidential Infrastructure Initiative. The third institution that His Excellency created is the Investment Board. It is the highest policy-making body on investment. wherein investors will have the opportunity to dialogue with key policymakers so that together we can address some of the challenges facing investment in this country.
And according to the Vice President, now because of the step away governments don't take, make Salon they perform well at the international benchmark them.
First is the MCC. We have made huge progress in the scorecard. Last year, we passed the control of corruption with a very high score, and also we are very well positioned to pass 12 out of 20 indicators this year. Secondly, we have passed the validation this year, Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. This is very important for a country that has vast mineral wealth. If you don't pass this validation, it is going to undermine investment confidence to come to your country and invest in the extractive sector. The other third international benchmark is scaling up nutrition, which is also in our office. Sierra Leone is also rated in that direction. That is why before the end of this year, we are going to attract the visit of the Under-Secretary General of the United Nations that is responsible for scaling up nutrition will visit Sierra Leone. That is a symbolic appreciation of the effort we have made as a country to improve our rating in that direction.
The Vice President end up say, President Bill don't travel in a different country them in the world. For go pa International Investment Forum them. For promote the country in potential area them in a different sector them. For boost the country economy. As he say, the country open for investment.
As a government, we are sending and we continue to send a very strong signal to the outside world that this country is open for business, this country is open for tourism, and more importantly, this country is open for strategic partnership. This is a country that wants to move from aid-dependent country to trade because we have the potentials, we have the mineral resources, and now we have a president that is very serious and rigorous about improved governance and management practices.
Yusuf Keke Thomas Sandina, the press secretary and presidential spokesman, inside in your talk, say this magazine where governments don't pull, that for showcase the things them where the presidents don't do inside the past 1 year.
We are the only people to tell our own story. And I know most of you know the challenges, and I think we are addressing those challenges. But in this magazine, we wanted to tell our story, how beautiful our country, how fine we've worked, how gracious our ministers are, and what they have done in the ministry and the MDs. That is why you have beautiful pictures here of some of the ministers, and also you have a very precious picture of the president and the vice president. So we are concentrating on how to tell our own story and the achievement that we have made.
But I've been asked Mr. Sandy about the things them where they inside this magazine.
The cover of the magazine, we get the president in face and it's a champion of human capital development. Because that is a flagship program, the free quality education. Look about economic diversification. How far we don't go, for instance, for agriculture, the tourism sector, the fishery sector. So we try to catalog all what you don't do for the past 1 year. But most crucially, revenue mobilization. We don't also restore the economic discipline and integrity as a country and as a government. So for instance, now we do quite well with the IMF, with the World Bank. We also make sure we showcase what we do about corruption as well. But also importantly, we not only make and do what the government don't say and do, but we get people independent to be government. So for instance, Abdul Tijanko, a very outstanding lawyer, where he writes an article in the magazine about how the government don't do in terms of fighting corruption. So it's a rich magazine and it covers lots of areas.
How you think, say, the things that we do inside this magazine here will actually enhance the governance structure of the presidency of President Bill?
I mean, Shay, if you not tell your own story, nobody will tell them for you. And what make this very important? It's important because we go to give this magazine, because we don't sell the magazine at all. We go to give this magazine to the members of the diplomatic community. We will give them to MDAs, we will give them to the missions they are abroad, put them across the country.
Why the magazine just focus on the achievement of the government within 1 year, instead of looking at some of the challenges that the country they currently face?
Because if we want to do what you say so, challenges and achievements, believe me, in a series of volumes we go produce, because we don't want to do that one day. We want to make sure we concentrate on our achievement, very visible, very tangible, where people also know about a lot. For catalog them in the magazine, the challenges them, then the president will talk about that, Mr. They talk about them, but we address the one in day. And we will say in the next coming 1 year, we will address them and make sure say people understand say this is a responsible government and a government is financially prudent. We want to tell the story how great our president is and how great our government is.
Mr. Sandy end up say in office where they under the president, they plan now for they produce this magazine every 3 months, as he call on head of ministries department and agency them for continue for support in office for they produce this magazine at the country. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Mohammed Sheikh, the report.
They causing confusion. But this confuse me, boo. Look where Uncle Nat in Wall Solid.
Look in block them where them beat for them, where they save solid, and at the same amount of cement and sand then they use for beat me on. But look what in the happen, me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind of magic they behind this. You want to know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life and extra yield cement where are the use, and that's not Dangote 3x Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement na the highest grade cement in the country. When a 42.5 R grade cement, when no one day come na this country, and a one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want you concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. You go get Dangote 42.5 R cement na online shop and building material store na the one whole country.
The program is still listening to now Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We continue with the program and they come to the studio guest them back. And they come over to Grandma Michael Turewina, Deputy Director for School Broadcasting at the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. As we continue for look at this issue we get for do with picking them way them belly don't show. We're pregnant, not for going to school, but for use the alternative where government we don't create for them. We don't listen to the views of civil society activists them where don't they advocate for their government and sure see them picking us to go to mainstream school for their own belief them we then get, but the government self gets their own belief them. Now any possibility they or government they plan for review this policy or reverse them at the end with all the concerns them where civil society don't bring at the table?
Well, I mean, you can't rule them out. Now I make where I start, I say a dialogue is necessary continuously because it's very important. You're talking about a whole lot of people in this country here and waiting and think and waiting at their opinion. So yes, there is a possibility to say at some point something is going to happen. What that thing is going to be, I'm not able to preempt now so because I don't know. But I'll just clarify just certain things the way my brother mentioned, Mr. Bar here, where I think it's important for letting people know. He mentioned, say, they bundle all the levels them inside one classroom. That is not true. I don't know when last they visit to learning centers them, because that's not true. Primary, na primary level. Junior secondary school, no, not everybody, say primary 1, go put out primary 6. You know they happen, Mr. Bar. That's not what's happening. You have to visit and see actually what they go on day. So that is one thing. And the equal education where they talk about say it not provided the partners them where don't they support you throughout this time, and as we know them, partners will not spend their money on anything where defeat the mandate, the philosophy and the policies, but they continue to support the Ministry of Education from that time during the Ebola up to this time. The very UNFPA where they mentioned now in fact they support them 40 learning centers here right now where they go on. So the very DFID now they finance the production of the accelerated learning syllabus where they use now the very centers then they now the money, understand, during the Ebola. Now that syllabus they change to mainstream school syllabus where the beginner will benefit. But also what is also important where they talk about say we not provide learning centers for all the regions or every side of this country. It also has to do with the willingness of the very girl picking them. Where they talk say now only few days would they provide tuition for them. Yes, because now that they say they want. It's about their willingness. How many times as a pregnant girl you want for come now the school? You say I able come 2 times, I able come 3 times. So we tailor them based on their own willingness. Keep in mind also say, and I'm not saying the majority, but there are also certain girls them where they get pregnant because they want to get out of the school system.
So
Mr. happen. Am I saying the majority of them? No. But there are some way not actually we think say the school, not to me calling, mean a business now.
So it's possible for them decide say
all I'm
I go
saying
get
is,
belly because I don't want to go school.
all I'm saying is there are some where they take that decision day, not to because they want because they don't want for them.
Now survey una do way una prove say picking the way the student decide this.
I'm not saying that survey, but I'm
So
saying there is a possibility. That's what I'm saying. Okay. I'm not saying we carried out a survey.
The same
I'm
possibility.
saying there is a possibility
Mr.
that
Turedi,
some may not want to be in that school because then think say then call in for something else.
Mr. Toye, the
It
same
happen all the time.
possibility where you dey talk about, you don't use that same possibility again for sidom and think for know the number of girl picking them where they born where they can get belle during school and willingly come back say I want for enroll myself back in school.
Yes, we get our statistics there now.
Wetin are
Even
the
just quite
statistics?
recently, we don't return 2,000 back.
I know they talk about the one way
To
and they
school.
talk about how willing after they don't get this belle, they don't born, how willing they can be back for Kana school.
Yes, during Ebola, we had 15,000 and more of them. 10,000 expressed willingness for return back to mainstream schooling, and we return them back to mainstream schooling.
This policy where we don't they see activists, they don't they challenge government say not to be the right decision they make. Now from 2010 to now, we don't get change of education minister. At any point where it take over the ministry, official then be sit down for brief on different policy them way be don't they exist under the ministry. If yes, what will be in response on this particular ban where they put on pregnant girls not for go school?
Well, not indirectly, but as early as we last management meeting past Monday, that issue they come up about these pregnant girls and about the courts and all of this.
The new
They come
management
up.
so far, what's gonna be the response on this decision?
Well, they are looking at it. Like I say, a dialogue is always very important. They are looking at it. Waiting good for one government might not be good for another government. And keeping in mind also say, at this point in time, education are a flagship program for this government. And therefore, every variable then we look at them for CCA, access to education, where now the key thing, and this is provided. And so Naimeka say, it is not impossible that things might change. But as it is, now that's not the policy for now. I not say it will ever change.
Alright.
But that is the policy for now. And when the government look at them, when they see the reason why it should change, obviously they will change them. You know, set on stone say, now so it will live forever and ever. And there was never any time where I mentioned say, this it will stop so forever and ever. But for now, that is what it is. And that is the reason why I am advocating say, that day and that will get. It will change, yes, maybe. Maybe
Quickly,
not.
Mr. Ba, from Mr. Touye, the decision still exists unless if this new minister decides say we for look at him and review him. So with this case where una don't file na the ECOWAS Court of Justice, una optimistic say it will make any difference on this particular policy?
To be honest, as a Sierra Leonean, me hope was that we cannot be taken to ECOWAS courts and we get for litigate this. So they win a headline news all over the world for the wrong reason. So I be the hope say we will reconsider this. But the important thing for we care deeply about girls' their rights now that if the ECOWAS courts rule on this issue, it will become now a basis for other countries that really discriminate against pregnant girls for let that discrimination they end. But if you permit me, I just want to come back to something we my brother just talk about. Some girl picking them possible say then they choose for get belle. This now part of this culture of victim blaming in this country. The idea say if I want to stop for go school, I not go just stop for go school, I dey go get belle. No girl picking all the way they sit down and get belle on your own. That's number one. Number two, the law of this country say sex with any girl picking where they below 18, na rape, na statutory rape, na sexual penetration. So for tell me say them picking they will go school where they don't violate, they don't abuse them and then choose for go school. I find that just completely unbelievable. Now part of this notion why they talk about fact-free and evidence-free policy. The other thing I want to say, make a finish. I be allow you, make me say, let me say finish. The other thing I want to say, now this notion say, oh, the Pekin and say, some of the Pekin don't want to go school. I don't know about you, Mabel, but me I be a very good student, so I be to go school. But at some point, I be the member say, me, I not get for go school. Because the school is far. School is arts for the weak middle net. Not so dandy for make government they decide say all my way think say the school for they come out Olwaf they can Albert Academy, but not so dandy, not so a basis dandy for let government go say we they help you now and you know want go school they kick you out. Keep in mind this is not about what people then think. Public policy not to vox pop. Like I say now for that, but people they justify wife beating, but people they justify even rape. But we not they make rape legal because of that. People they still ask, wait till be where? Why go the way then go rape her? If you ask about who pick it and now say, okay, they rape so person, log in the context, when I go do vox pop, then go say, well, line I cause for himself. You know mean say justify rape. The essence of the states government, whether they make a policy where they affect the lives of the citizens. Now, for make sure, say, one, it consistent with the spirit and the content of the law, and secondly, consistent with human rights provisions. This ban not meets any of them standard.
So they bring you back to the issue of dialogue where Mr. Ture consistently done the talk about earlier, and he say even this week the new management will come this issue up and it's still in at the table. So una still open for come to the government for dialogue and reverse una second decision when I don't go reach at the international court.
In fact, I mean, not to, as an individual, I'm not going to make the decision on the case. But like I say, we will start the coalition. Part of the reason we will not even come at the media. It don't take almost a year we will start this coalition. Now because we believe in dialogue and we still continue for believe in dialogue. I'm really happy for you with Mr. Brahma to talk about the idea. Say there is hope. Whether there is a silver of hope or a lining of hope, there is hope. We believe, say, the evidence they on the side of the girls, the rights for go to education. We believe, say, when you look at what's needed even for you thrive when you get pregnant. Every scientist, we don't look at this issue, will tell you, say, when you even get belay, you need for move. You need mental stimulation. You need all of them in the way the school environments. The other thing is, these governments, they restore comprehensive sexuality education. And they in active conversations for do that. Then I very welcome mood. The other thing where the first lady talk go Vancouver is that they begin connect school health clinics them to the school system at this country. So they can put in place mechanisms that will go make it easy for let them pick away even go, the one the way they get belay for let them go able for survive and thrive na the classroom. Right. So with the hope say all of them policies here will be part of a package of progressive reforms. We not go discriminate against anybody because of pregnancy status.
All right, Chernobyl, continue for the way to the program. Would they look at text messages where when I don't send the program this morning? The first one I go take from Christian Kano on our Facebook page. They say if any child is pregnant, they should wait after birth and return to school because of stigmatization of the child.
Musa Joseph say, please ask Mr. Ba if his daughter is pregnant while going to school. Will he continue to encourage her to attend classes in school?
This other one, they say, please tell Mr. Ba that the classroom is for school-going children, not for pregnant mothers.
This one said the best idea is to create a special class for them. It comes out from Kelly and George Brook.
This one, they say, in the UK, girls deliberately get pregnant in order to get a council flat.
Mr. Ba is against hands-off our girls. Why then are you supporting this policy?
More messages don't come to the program. This one, they say, great program. Those of us who believe in gender equality should applaud Mr. Ba's group.
Mystic Nadwazak, they say, Mr. Ba, rights goes with responsibility. How can you go to ECOWAS courts to allow visible pregnant girls in classrooms?
More messages. We don't come to the program this morning. This other one, they say, Chernobyl, the dream of the president is to see all children being educated. Do you know the complication involved when girls get pregnant? I expect you and your supporters to mentor these girls on how to protect themselves throughout school sessions. They come up from Sylvia.
Instead of answer, girls should be book carriers and not baby carriers. They come out from Mark 10.
From Edward Adikali na Freeton, they say it will be equally risking the lives of the pregnant girl if they must go to school during such a critical condition, especially in the remote communities. Pregnancy is very critical, so they must stay at home. SIBA and others should focus on other issues.
This other one, they say, Mr. Ba, do you know that in certain stages of pregnancies, girls will be sleeping, tiredness, throwing up, and somehow some will expect the girls in school to... Some of the girls in school cannot continue to attend school.
More messages. We don't come na the program this morning. They say, Mr. Ba, your analysis on the girls that are going to school is incorrect. Please analyze more so that we can understand.
This other message is, let's encourage the girls to stay off the boys and focus on school.
All right. Well, from their messages in there, we come to studio guest there now. For let them go respond. I start with you, Mr. Turi. Then later we'll come to Chair.
Well, as soon as all the president. Now, for Mr. Wabona, there is one way say the best idea is to create special class for them. That is what we have done. Once they're ready for go back to school, we transition them from there to mainstream schooling, and over 10,000 of them have expressed willingness in the past, and we don't return them back to school. The 5,000 say they don't want to go back to school, they want to go learn something else. So you see, they have choices, and we make sure, say, we provide an opportunity for let them pursue the choices they will then get. But for the one who say want to go back, over 10,000 don't go back to school, we must stop them. And thank God now it's free education, government is going to support them, and then go achieve their dreams, and then go be great people in society. That is the whole idea here. So I think, say, now a welcome call, but most of the text messages there.
All right, quickly before Mr. Barika inside, Alo Kondowa, they say, what is wrong with someone being pregnant attending school? You guys are the problem. So one for no waiting wrong if somebody get belly go school.
Well, for the attendant factors, where most people in there express about the symptoms of pregnancy in the classroom, about the danger of having a pregnant girl with the back of Kurubola there, we get for waka, sometimes 2 or 3 miles for go na school. Anything could happen to her, and then immediate medical attention not there. But just like Mr. Ba mentioned, say, now we're looking at actually creating clinics around the school system so that if Peking gets a problem, if you're pregnant 7 days at the classroom, you get a problem, there will be immediate intervention where that Peking will be saving life, and the way will continue with school thereafter. So all that day, it not happening, and so we get to look at all of that if we want for say, pregnant Peking sit down our classroom them. All of these things have to be looked into. The resources, the facilities, and all of that is very important. The opinion of the people also counts, because that they translate to laws and they translate to policies and all of that.
All right, let Mr. Barisef respond to the message.
Well, I want to tell family and thank you for them very, very informed text message. And I want to say one thing up front. I understand, say, for many people, this issue, that they attack them from a moral perspective. Yeah. I acknowledge that. I understand that. My own business is if you get problem with your morality, you go to church, you go to mosque, you go deal with Sunday. My own issue is we compare the public policy and the issue of rights, and we look at what's in the evidence, say, which we want to do. Now, when maybe they go school na Bishop Crowder, where people they call Kanike School, I be get people in my class, we get epilepsy. Then they provoke them, then they fall down a class, but government not pass a ban say, all my we get epilepsy, we know they allow you like can school again. While I go Albert Academy, I be get people in my class, we blind, we they use wheelchair. We, in we ignorance, we be they provoke them, we be they make fun of them, they may they suffer from stigma. And by the way, the school system not be gets many of the things that we they need for let them survive and thrive in the school. But it not still means say government for come up with a ban where they say if you get epilepsy or if you get, that are 2 important points. Number 3, pregnancy, not to sickness. Serena Williams won the French Open where she was over 3 months pregnant. She begins in 2nd trimester now. He won the French Open. We don't see beaucoup women that we don't do beaucoup sporting events. We don't see women them me wife he go work to days before they born picking. Me colleague them. Beaucoup people they do that. The problem is finish. The problem not to foresee.
Quickly, then people are they make examples, so decide them way, then they leave. Then
solar can
with Salon, that just
yes.
make case with Salon. They don't believe about person where they get belly. It's different. Okay. Now they the issue of stigmatization they come in.
I can agree with us.
We'll done. But we not make public policy on morality alone. That's not that could be a bad state. We don't become a I don't call it a feudal state. So no do that. So yes, so make a
I have been emphasizing.
I be there on a cause. I be trying to make a point. So on this question of a way get belly, somehow you need all this super help and on your way to school, then they suggest say we person get belly if we didn't house no more. We don't make sense because we get belly, they still cook, they still go, they need for go clinic, they still work at go clinic and all. Besides that, again, science say we say we get belly. In fact, you need for exercise, you need for be mentally stimulated. It's good for even the baby who is in a class. The baby get better chance in life. Again, the idea of pregnancy, the majority of people that they get pregnant when they go to school, na poor families. So for subject them say una dey na house because school not enough for una, no make sense. Because the home not even you call Kubula. So let left na house ta Kubula outside hospital no dey. It better if you didn't at school, unless people need to be educated if something happen.
So quickly as we, they can't
but
take
all
about
pregnancy, not to emergency. Pregnancy, not to sickness. Somebody asked me personally, I just respond to that question. Somebody asked me if me get me picking, if I go allow me picking for good school. All my ways sabi me, I get the courage of my convictions and I stand by what I say, what I do. I don't do this thing consistently, irrespective of who's government in a power, irrespective of within the context. The fact of the matter is that I follow the evidence. We don't see again, including in African countries, we picking or girls get belay, then they go school. Then they survive in a school, then they do well. In fact, today, purposeful with partners, they will get a special hearing, we'll call a feminist hearing, a girls hearing, where boku girls in the camp, they can't share their story. One of them girl in there, now one girl, we in principle encourage them for go school. He only sits the exam, he beats all man per the exam day. By this government's in ban, the ban of the previous government, where they put in place with this government, unfortunately not change it. That picking, not for them be allowed for go school, not for them be allowed, if they don't drop out of school by now. We they can present that case so people don't understand what's in this mean by the evidence.
We go come back to National, but let me just quickly listen to what about.
Ate the one day, it's a guma west by the water. Ate a call for Ate, Nadam question the behind them at since when the minute of transport take over. Not almost flight in the world. Now me body calculate for me. At almost the one now. It's still calculate. Not almost in the meet. People in the pay transport for government buses. It's still calculate. Not the same. Not calculate for me again. Almost pandemic boss them on almost again now. Nothing at the calculator of the man. At about one move younger. Nothing what the look the Lord and nothing your offenses against Persons Act 1861. At the Dangerolo, lasting Act 1916. Statute of Ward 1677 at na one preparo and man at the olo when I did at the day the Chiana law reform for the what reform the lawyer at the Botoya. Ate na they ask me Baba when they do, he say don't tawao. Say now, na the administrator open for the pan. Not the wood what they do some people. Ate where hold me fight so, I go meet go one time. I bet so me na Jona Ebu Akabon.
They continue with the program. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We still get Chernobyl and Brahma Michael Tue at the studio as they look at the ban where government's been put on pregnant girls not for going to school inside 2010. Mr. Ba, we look at this particular policy because I can remember back where government be introduced this policy. So many people and also only the activists they no more been they look at and debate this particular policy. At some point, Comrade and Safe been they talk say yes. Pikin we get belle during the time they go school in belle show for stop force because them believe say this particular pikin if he continue for sidom na class it be a bad influence to accompany them. Within a young view, but comrade them we get this particular notion say if pikin get belle for go school demotivate other person, other pikin, sorry.
So it's also important to point out, say, we get a number of traditional beliefs we get a number of customs and traditional beliefs that we people believe. We're not necessarily grounded in reason. Waiting we advocacy to point out, now the role of government now for engage the public as well, and for make public policy where they bring the people there along. But people them if you say, for example, free education will not get the opportunity for it and a bad, will not ready for it. Governments supposed to set a vision and inspire people for good day. Explain to the people in the context of most pregnancies in this country. Me and you two know say most of them pregnancy happen to girls. You don't see the rainbow data. 90% of people who they rape in this country now picking them with the under 18. Most of them cannot get access to any contraceptives. Sex don't become a currency in the country. Transactional sex. The man there, nobody know the acts which happen to them. Nobody know the affects the boys. But what do they do? The victim them. The one they win are the victims of we collective failure as a society. And they with the ban and with the shame. Which I would say to the parents there is no evidence not there where they suggest say the pregnancy, the influence or the picking for get belly. No evidence not there. They challenge anybody for come up with that evidence. In fact, they don't study this issue. The opposite time they happen. The reverse time they happen. When picking say on a class with somebody we get belly, in countries like in the US, in the UK, in South Africa, in Zambia, within the happen, pregnancy rates generally they go down. So it consistent with this president wants when I let all man get access to education. So that then they may go talk and ask the government for join me for inspire this country for dream big and for base public policy on evidence.
So as well, how you go convince speaking self where they listen you where they go school for no say on another try for advocates or encourage them for go get belly and say opportunity for them at school?
Well again, I know very clearly say no picking all the gaps you don't say I want go get belly. The notion say and at the picking them they want get belly na a culture of victim blaming. As a feminist, I reject that culture they completely because no picking all the don't say it go get sex for himself. Almost all sex with the initiated in this country now man there with power the initiator, whatever kind of power the initiator against girls. So that notion they say this now widespread say picking the way they I reject that. But beyond that, obviously we know say now I make I say the policy that this government puts in place, comprehensive sexuality education. If you not teach policy about sex, they are going to do it and do it in an unhealthy way where they make sure say get belly. If you not get access to contraceptives, if you not get access to the facilities the way they EPAM, then they get forbidden. So what's in need for Apple not to for blame or talk to the picky no more. Now for now put in place the mechanisms, the structures and institutions for support them for reduce pregnancy in this country and for make sure say the dream of the first lady for let we all that made the first lady not say girls hands off boys. It say hands off our girls because it understands say now something that is being done to girls, not to girls that they opt in.
All right, thank you very much, Arno. But quickly, Brahma Michael, from 2010 to now, this policy still stand. Although activists them like Cherno them don't they come out, don't they explain for let the ministry see reason for reversing decision. As it is now, the ministry is still open for dialogue when they reconsider for looking inside this decision.
Keep in mind saying I've been my premise from the very start, dialogue, and I'm so happy that after all the debate don't get now today, my brother end up at that very side say we need a national dialogue around this issue. So all of the effort where civil society or all activist groups then don't put behind this whole policy. If they mean direct all the effort and the resources for take the dialogue beyond the government, not just tap on with the government, talking to a president or whatever. Take them beyond, spend all that money, they go around this country, educate the people equally like how you don't try for do so. The parents them, the school picking themselves, give them the alternatives, give them that education, let them able to understand, let them able to rationalize the thing and say, okay, wait, I'm not been thinking this way. Now SIBA don't help me for that thinking this way. I think we don't go steps ahead than even an ECOWAS court. Right. That was my premise. That go to the people, let them understand what you try for say. Let them understand, say, yes, I can still get me girl picking now that classroom day, even though he's pregnant, and rationalize for them. Let able understand, let able buy the idea, then you don't solve a very serious problem.
All right.
That's my premise.
Thank you very much. Brahma Michael Ture, Deputy Director, School Broadcasting, Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, and also to Chernoba, CEO and founder for the Purposeful Production, who can discuss some of the issues then wey make civil society activists dem think say government for lift the ban wey dem put on pregnant girls not for go na school. And as today the ECOWAS court na Abuja they begin for the case where Equality Now and them partner them been filed against the Salon government for sake of this policy. Well, now the end of the program Good Morning Salon for today on edition. Na Michael Sambola and Alex Lawrence Koma and then produce the program. DJ Ahmad give technical support. Moses Kavora and in team and they make una watch we live now Facebook. So to meet back, Mina Khadija Bangura they say have a nice day.
And Mabel Kabade say goodbye.
Family, stay tuned for my Good Morning Salon program. We continue with more for programs them for this Thursday morning. Well, stay tuned and continue for get so much more good.